I never thought I'd see my name sitting on the front page of a lawsuit, 48 pages of accusations thicker than the county phone book. And the craziest part, I wasn't even part of the HOA that filed it. That morning, staring at the bold black letters across the top, violation of HOA rules, I realized my quiet life in the woods wasn't quiet anymore. Karen Collins, the self-crowned queen of High Pines, had declared war on me. Act 1. The first shots. When my wife Amy and I bought our cabin, the whole reason we chose it was simple. No HOA, no paint color approvals, no mailbox inspections, no grown adults arguing about the length of your grass. Just trees, quiet, and our little porch where we could drink coffee at sunset. For years, it was peace, real peace. And then she appeared. The first time I saw her, Karen was standing at the edge of my property, blonde hair pulled tight, sunglasses bigger than her face, clipboard clutched like it was a weapon. She didn't wave, she didn't smile. She just scribbled something down and walked off like a detective who'd already solved a crime. A week later, she stormed up my porch without knocking. "Excuse me," she barked, jabbing her pen at my half-fixed railing. "This is a violation." I actually laughed. "Lady, you've got the wrong house. I'm not in your HOA." Her lips curled like I'd spit in her lemonade. "Everyone around here is in the HOA. Not me," I said, crossing my arms. "And you don't run my house." Her nostrils flared. "And that was it," Ward declared. From then on, the notices started piling up like junk mail. First, my brown and white cabin paint was non-compliant. Then Amy's vegetable garden was aesthetic clutter. My pickup truck in the driveway, improper vehicle storage. I swear, one letter even accused me of unapproved porch furniture. At first, I shrugged it off. But Amy looked out the window at her garden beds one night, the tomatoes she'd planted with her own hands, and I saw her shoulders slump. "She's building a case," Amy whispered. "She's not going to stop." I wanted to believe ignoring Karen would make her go away. Instead, it only fed her. Act 2. The War of Paper. It all snapped into focus one Tuesday. A manila envelope, heavy, stamped by the county clerk. Inside, a full-blown lawsuit. Defendant, me. Charges, repeated violations, non-payment of HOA dues, failure to comply. I dropped into a chair like my knees gave out. How can she sue us? We're not even part of her damn HOA. Amy's jaw tightened. That's what makes it dangerous. She doesn't need the truth, just paperwork. 3 weeks later, we were in court. Karen sat in the front row, her ever-present clipboard replaced with binders thick as bricks. She smirked like she'd already won. Her lawyer wore a $1,000 suit. Me, I had a court-appointed kid who looked like he'd just graduated. The judge glanced through the case. "Counsel." He frowned at Karen's side. "I don't see evidence this defendant is a member of your HOA." Karen shot to her feet, pointing at me like I was a thief. "He lives in our neighborhood. He uses our roads, our amenities. He benefits without paying." Her voice cracked through the courtroom like a whip. I wanted to shout back, but my lawyer squeezed my arm. "Let her dig her own hole," he whispered. The judge sighed. "We'll reconvene. Provide evidence if you have it." And just like that, the nightmare stretched on 6 more weeks of stress. Everywhere I went, Karen's poison spread. At the grocery store, Mrs. Jenkins wouldn't meet my eyes. At church, old friends found other pews. Karen whispered, gossiped, printed her version of the truth in HOA newsletters. I became the villain of a story I never agreed to star in. The bills piled higher than my firewood stack. Filing fees, research costs, endless hours billed. Every dollar felt like blood money. And at night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, thinking, what if she wins? One night, I muttered, maybe we should just give in, write a check, end it. Amy rolled onto her side, tears slipping down her face. She's trying to break us. Don't let her. For the first time, I admitted out loud what I'd been thinking in secret. Maybe she already has. That was my lowest point. The moment I believed she might actually destroy us. Act 2. The turn. The shift came on a gray morning halfway through the trial. The county clerk carried in a box old HOA charters, deeds, amendments. Buried inside was the original High Pines charter, yellowed with age but crystal clear. Every lot listed in black ink, and mine wasn't there. Not even close. Our young lawyer stood taller than I'd ever seen him. Your Honor, This is definitive. My client's property has never been part of this HOA. The judge adjusted his glasses. Indeed, I see no mention of his parcel. Karen sprang up, red in the face. He lives here. He parks his truck where children play. Mrs. Collins, the judge thundered. Sit down. For the first time, Karen faltered. That night, Amy squeezed my hand so tight her knuckles went white. We fight back, not just defend. We go after her. So we did. The next week, our lawyer filed a countersuit. Harassment, malicious prosecution, emotional distress. The balance shifted, and I decided to hit her where it hurt most, her reputation. Amy and I printed flyers. Plain white paper with the county record at the bottom. Proof our land was never in her HOA. We went door to door. Some neighbors slammed doors in our faces, but others paused, scanning the map, their brows furrowing. She told us you were lying, one muttered. Another shook her head, whispering, Lord, I knew something was off. The local paper picked it up. Sunday's front page showed Karen's face under the headline, HOA President, sued for misuse of funds. Her precious phone tree went silent. Neighbors stopped knocking. At the next HOA meeting, board members openly questioned her. Karen stormed out before they could call a vote. I should have felt relief. But when a bully loses her grip, she doesn't surrender, she claws. Act 3. The Last Stand. The voicemails started first. You'll regret this. You're destroying this community. Then the headlights Karen parked at the end of my driveway at night, her beams cutting through our curtains like searchlights. I called the sheriff. A deputy handed her a harassment warning. I saw fear flash across her face for the first time. But fear didn't stop her. At 2 a.m., Amy shook me awake. Someone's outside. I grabbed a flashlight and scanned the yard. There she was, Karen, standing stiff at the edge of our drive, half-smile frozen, snapping a photo of me in pajamas before slinking back to her car. By morning, that photo was plastered on the HOA Facebook page with the caption, Unstable man threatens residents at night. The letters came next, venom on paper. We don't want your kind here. Huddle before it's too late. One mentioned my daughter's school schedule. That was the line crossed. The sheriff's department swooped in, bagged the letters, and finally said the words I'd prayed for. We have enough to file criminal charges. At the last hearing, Karen looked smaller. Gone was the iron helmet hair and the strut. She sat hunched, eyes darting like a cornered animal. The judge read the restraining order, the fines, the decision to strip her of her HOA presidency. Karen trembled. For a moment, her eyes met mine, burning, bitter, but beneath it all, fear. And something colder, a silent promise. You may have won this round, her stare seemed to say, but I'll never forgive you. I walked out with Amy's hand in mine, the paper in my pocket declaring us free of her reach. Closing. I thought I'd feel fireworks, but instead it was quiet. No more envelopes in the mailbox. No more headlights burning through the night. No more neighbors whispering lies. Just quiet? Amy laughed again. Real laughter, not the brittle kind. Even the dog stretched out on the porch like he knew the storm had passed. But I won't lie. There are scars. I still double-check the locks at night. My stomach still knots when I see an envelope with no return address. Yet here's what I know. Karen lost. The Queen of High Pines was dethroned. And sometimes victory doesn't look like a parade. It looks like survival. Because bullies like her thrive on fear. They want you rattled, desperate, broken. But if you stand long enough, if you hold your ground, eventually they stumble. And when they do, the fall is theirs to bear. That's the truth. And on this channel, a Karen drama. We never forget it.